It's about creating conversations that you can share. Arrow.net, ARROE.net. We are unplugged and totally uncut with Chris Wagner.
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Well, anybody who says they're fantastic means they live that lifestyle, and that's always very important to their creative process.
Absolutely, man. It's life is all perspective, right?
It really is. And then to be able to turn it into the things that you have, how are you able to create that fuel and give yourself permission to continue to grow, because you're unstoppable?
I've been so fortunate. I just see a need, a niche in the business, and I probably have a problem saying yes too much, which is why we're staffing up now to match the growth that we're seeing. I work with a lot of good people, and you're talking to me, but there's so many people here that actually do so much of the work.
Don't you love that, though, when you're surrounded by a winning team and people share the same exact vision, and it's just one of those things that allows your purpose and plan and creativity to grow forward?
Yeah, and it's all women here who are all the smartest people in the room, and then there's me, the one who gets to jump on the Zooms and talk to cool people like you.
When you put an idea together, because unscripted television is like the real deal these days, we vicariously live through your art. What is that like for you to see and hear from our side of it?
It's really partnering with the right people who bring the concept to me, or the network comes to me, and they're just able to identify what culture wants, and which is constantly changing based on, as you see, the economy, politics, everything that goes on in society gets reflected directly back to unscripted TV. So it's fascinating to see. I was actually thinking, like, you could probably look back on television and it'd be an indicator of what was happening in the world at the time.
How has binge watching television changed your life? Because it's no longer about waiting for a certain time. When we want something, we go get it now. And dude, Chris, you're providing it for us.
It's interesting, right? I still like to. I was going to lie. I was going to say I still like to watch live TV, but I don't. It's fascinating to have access to everything you want so easily and so quickly. I think that's representative of society as well right now. Phones, everybody's on them all the time. It's that immediate need that society's thriving on right now. Whether it's the healthiest for our children or whatnot, that's probably a whole nother conversation, but it's amazing to be in the content business right now with all the content needed. Every network has a streamer, all the streamers. It's the golden age of television. It's exciting.
What was the life changer for you in the way that in 2011 I saw a commercial on television that said that Wi-Fi was going to be in the car, and I thought, what? And that's when I jumped onto the streaming. What was the life changer for you?
Airplanes.
Really?
I remember being able to jump on. I traveled so much in my early years for work, and I remember, like, okay, that's like the 5 hours to New York that, like, it's quiet and nobody can get me. And of course you get off the plane and your phone blows up. But once it was on airplanes, that changed the game.
Man, my flights on an airplane, I used to sit there and I would take my acrylic paints with me and paint while in flight. But then once 9/11 happened,
cool.
I couldn't take my paints anymore.
Really?
No, because you couldn't take anything with tubes.
Oh my gosh, that's such a bummer.
It was.
Yeah. You're a big painter?
I used to be, until I had a really bad show in Louisiana. And what do you do in situations like that where the critics and everybody come at you and just hit you so dang hard? Do you keep pushing forward through the mountain, or do you back off and say, let's go try something new?
If it's something I'm passionate about, like I've really found my gut feel the last few years, I push through. No idea, no concept has been successful when we listen to others, certainly negatively. So if I'm passionate about it, I will do. I started my first company to focus on production services like 6 years ago, and my partner at the time didn't believe like it was the way to go. But I always did and pushed through, and I found that I've been very fortunate to work with the people that I do and the amount of shows that we've been able to produce.
Well, you use your energy as a platform for other creative energy. I mean, you become that source or the outlet for other people's art.
Yeah, I mean, like life, I think I imitate life and work where I, be a good person, be honest, work hard. Those are the key principles that transfer from both the real world and my work.
Research.
And if that's wrong,
yeah.
Sorry.
No. If that's wrong, we'll pick it up there.
Yeah, I mean, if that's wrong, then I'm okay with somebody saying they don't want to work with me because those are my core principles. So it's okay if I lose a show or a job or whatever it is for those reasons.
Is the wolf your totem animal only because with everything that you do, it seems like you are a people watcher. You are a silent watcher, and you're able to bring to rather than take away from.
The wolf. I have not thought about my spirit animal, but I feel like it's more like the flamingo, kind of
Really?
awkward, silly looking. Pink's my favorite color, but I'm going to go with wolf. Are those wolves on your picture, by the way?
Well, what that is, I study Native American spirituality. Yeah, that's and what that is, that's
right?
that's a acoustic is what that is, and so what the you should see inside this studio. It's all Native American spiritual tools, and that's just one of those tools that I was using.
Wow, and that is Sebastian Bach, isn't it?
That's me.
That's you?
That's me. Yeah.
You are a handsome man.
Oh, thank you, sir. It's
fantastic hair.
Well, dude, that's the one thing that I loved about the COVID lockdown is I said I'm going to grow my hair long again. There's no reason to cut it. So I mean, it's right back down to the middle of my back again.
Dude, congrats! It looks awesome. I have such thick hair, so it looks like a pro when I get that. And by the way, you are Sebastian Bach's stunt double, young Sebastian Bach. Lately, he's gotten a bit of plastic surgery.
Well, that's not going to happen with me, man. I just can't do that kind of junk.
I love it.
So the Masked Singer created something that it really took a divided brother and sister relationship of multiple years, and it created conversation for the first time for the two of us, and we relied on that show to be our communication connection. Have you heard any other stories like that where family members came together or friends came together because of the Masked Singer?
Oh, that's interesting. I see what you mean by divided brother and sister. I think Shark Tank was a good example of that. Mm-hmm. I think it's, I could watch it with my grandma or my 5-year-old. I think Are You Smarter Than the Fifth Grader was a really fun way too to see the kids play and against adults who I do my kids' homework with them in 6th, 4th, and 1st grade, and I get stumped. I got stumped last night on my 1st grader's math. So I think that was a really fun way to explore co-viewing with all family members. It
used to be just professional wrestling, but now you're creating shows that really take us to a different level.
Perfect. Yes, you're right. God, I forgot about the WWE. Yes, those are the two that I've worked on that I've seen. That American Idol, I think, not only did that because it's such easy access to people's emotions. Everyone sings. I sing in the shower or in my car. And it was a really good way to bring family together to watch shows. Dude,
it shows like that. And even with the Masked Singer, I bawl my eyes out. I'm such a little, I don't know, but I bawl because you guys bring such an emotional connection to a person's real life. And here they are on television.
Yeah, I mean, look, the masterminds behind that are Rob Wade and Craig Plustis. Rob's president of Fox. Craig brought the format to Fox. And, now I'm an outside viewer looking in, and it's amazing how they continue to keep it fresh. The talent they continue to get, it's fun to watch. It's a fun program. My kids love it.
I looked up the spiritual meaning of the flamingo. You are a man of balance. You are a man of great ideas, it says.
Oh, wow. So I guess I was wrong.
Oh, come on. You got to come across as someone with balance. With what you've been doing?
I try, but I'm going to run with what you said, the wolf.
Yes. Yeah, the silent wolf.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah. So what is the next step of viewing? Because as that silent watcher, you are studying the habits of people moving forward and not where we've been in the past.
Yeah, I mean, streaming clearly is where it's at, and networks are trying to figure that out. Like I said, every network has a streamer now under it. I'm interested about co-viewing just because like phones, iPads are so massive now that everybody gets a lot of their content there. I'm interested to see technology in 10 to 15 years, like you've seen video games since Atari when I was growing up to now. I'll be interested to see what they continue to do with AR and VR in the television space. I know like what was interesting is like 3D never hit, right? 3D televisions, but I don't think that because there was a need to go from standard def to high def, but nobody needed to do 3D. I'm curious to see if that ever comes back in a bigger way.
Yeah. Do you see in the way that these long series and stuff like that? I mean, we'll complain about a movie being 2 hours and 30 minutes long, but we'll binge watch 10 episodes in a row.
Literally, me too. It's crazy. It's fun, right? I think I don't know the question necessarily, but I think it's interesting because I'm certainly guilty of binge watching.
Yeah.
God, what did I do recently? Narcos. I did the new Dexter.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah. Well, you are definitely in our heartbeat because the things that you bring to us really helps us get through the conditions that we're facing on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, man, thank you so much. I find myself very fortunate to be able to work in this business.
I mean, with all the thoughts that go through your head, you've got to be documenting this stuff.
I try to journal.
Yeah.
If I try, I mean, do it once a month. So it's something we're talking about a lot of self-help too here, which is great. I try to do it and I need to do it more. So I'm leaving this conversation with I need a journal and I'm a wolf.
I love it. Well, man, you be brilliant today, okay?
Yeah, and you too. Have a great day. Thank you so much for your time and having me.
You bet, man. Come back anytime. The door's always going to be open, sir.
Would love it. I appreciate it. Have a great day.